Good morning. It is Friday, March 5th. I am Jason Stanton. I serve First Lutheran in Onalaska, Wisconsin as senior pastor. I'm using our Lenten devotional again and again, still Lent. And I'm on page 18 today, the second week of Lent. Again and again, we are called to listen. And so that's what I've been thinking about a lot this week is what does it mean to listen? Today's musing, especially if you're a member of First Lutheran, you know we've been trying to decide what the wisest way forward as a congregation is, whether we can safely offer an indoor in-person version of worship, in addition to live streaming and probably still having some outdoor services, at least occasionally as well. And Psalm 22, I think, speaks to maybe just about anything from Scripture this week would have spoken to this discernment process. But in the devotion, she says, minuteness, small. Well, maybe I should read the 29th verse here. I'll read this. To God, indeed, shall all who sleep in the earth bow down. Before him shall bow all who go down to the dust, and I shall live for him. And that sense of smallness, she says, as I contemplate the idea of people beneath the earth and people in the womb, I feel a sense of beautiful protection. In particular, I feel a deep connection to our minuteness, in contrast to the greatness of God. In this piece, I depict a sense of covering in the womb, people yet unborn, covering in the soil, sleep in the earth, and then a spiral radiates outward representing praise. The pattern depicts people in various poses of prayer and praise. And what she's talking about, she made that image. I was drawn to the idea of minuteness, that idea of small, and how when I feel small, or when I am small, whether it's physically, like someone is just way larger than me. I remember being a child and my principal in elementary school, Mr. Chamberlain, he was at least 10 feet tall. Like I could swear it. He was probably 6'1". But you know, when you're a little person, you're kind of at the mercy of bigger things around you, bigger kids. When you are not in power, you're at the mercy of those who are. As a human, we're at the mercy of God, the biggest, the greatest, as the devotion says. Most times, at the mercy of comes before a big, scary thing, a big, scary person, perhaps. You know, that person was at the mercy of cancer. That person is at the mercy of the insurance system, or that person, you know, we're all at the mercy of the weather. And we never are like, because it's going to be great weather. And insurance companies are fun to work with, and cancer is not so bad. Like when we say at the mercy of, usually it's like, yeah, you know, what can you do? But what if in our smallness we were at the mercy of something good? You know, what if that's how we thought of, well, I'm at the mercy, as a sinner though I am, I'm at the mercy of God. What if God was always thought of as, you know, offering good, not that this is, but like, what if we said, well, we're at the mercy of our health, and we just, with God, we know it's always good, or God is like that insurance claim that goes right through, no problem, or God is always giving perfect weather for the picnic. And I know that's not how God works. It's just like, what if that was our perception? That if we're at the mercy of God, well, then we're forgiven. We're graced. We're blessed. We're known. So as I said, many of you probably know, recently, our church, First Lutheran, made the decision to move forward with in-person indoor worship on March 14th. And decisions like this feel very big. They feel big to me, and at the same time, they make me feel very small personally. Because it's a decision that affects, 1,800 members and ripples out to thousands of people beyond them, obviously, through their friends and family. And from a position of power, the position of senior pastor at First Lutheran carries with it power. It feels like a very big deal. I also, in addition to that, feel so out of control because the data points we're working with are not data that I can control. Yes, positivity rates are dropping, but Dr. Osterholm, who's been right with every other prognostication, says another wave is coming. Variants of the disease, like P1, I think that's what it was called. I listened to a podcast about it. They may render vaccines useless. I can't control that. And then what if people don't respect the precautions that our church wants to take? I can't control all of that. And that's when I feel small. Smaller than the situation, smaller than being able to make a right decision, which of course is very frustrating. In that smallness, though, I, like the artist of this devotion today, I remember Psalm 22, that God does offer a sense of covering. In the psalm, God offers a covering for the dead, a covering for the unborn, but I believe out of mercy, God also offers a covering to the living, like a warm blanket on a cold day. God covers us through all things, big and small. And so, remembering Psalm 22 today, we seek to keep faith alive.